upcoming issue of Rolling Stone magazine has Sean Penn's interview with notorious drug lord El Chapo, along with a photo the magazine says was snapped for authentication purposes. Just so you know, it's really El Chapo. And it wasn't, so they weren't making it up, that it was really the Chop Man. So, and of course they've arrested El Chapo now. So when you heard that Sean Penn had done this interview, what'd you think?
I was like, all these government agencies are going after him, and the guy that finds him is Sean Penn. I mean, all the time and money we spent, all the time and money that we spent on trying to find Osama bin Laden, we should have just sent Sean Penn after him, right? I mean, come on.
It was pretty remarkable, but apparently I think El Chapo reached out to Sean Penn through another actress because he wanted to have a biopic made of him, right?
His ego brought him down.
He should have called Danny DeVito, judging by that picture. I don't know why he's calling Sean Penn.
You know, I
don't look like Sean Penn to me.
Yeah, I think he wanted Sean Penn to play him. But I think what was fascinating to me was sort of look at the backlash. So many people were saying, "Isn't this illegal? You know, isn't it illegal?" And that's probably...
That was my question: is that could Sean be charged with aiding and abetting a fugitive?
No. And the way I saw it was, in order to aid and abet, you have to provide material support. So if he's like hiding El Chapo out and he's giving El Chapo money, I just like saying El Chapo, El Chapo, El Chapo, because it's so hilarious.
El Chapo Guzman. El Chapo Guzman.
You know, that would be aiding and abetting. But if he's acting as a journalist, which he was, Rolling Stone asked him to write this piece, then he's protected under the First Amendment. And remember, a lot of journalists have interviewed fugitives like Osama bin Laden.
Yes, they have.
Okay.
So, yes, they have.
I don't have a problem at all with Sean Penn, but I do have a problem with Rolling Stone, whether or not they aided and abetted a fugitive. You say they didn't. I think the fact that they gave final approval to El Chapo, you don't do that. When I go into interviews, I've had some, PR people and some people ask me, what are you going to ask me? Can I get a list of the questions?
No, you can't.
You can't do that. I know that might happen in entertainment news, but it doesn't happen in news. Okay, let's say, for example, I was going to interview Jennifer Garner, and her publicist said, don't ask about Ben Affleck. That might be something I might acquiesce to, but I'm never going to give you final approval.
It would be the first question out of my mouth. I'd be like, girl, what happened? Tell me what happened. Oh my, I want to know, girl. What I will say, my issue.
I'm so glad that you're here. I'm just going to say, we don't see you enough. You make us laugh, and we don't see you nearly enough, ABC.
Oh, please. My godmother would be over. Please, this is my family. But anyways, please, I love you. Another Christmas gift coming, more lottery tickets. Listen. I have to say that my issue with it was the writing was so bad.
Awful.
It was unreadable. It was like, just like a computer, like monkeys typing Hamlet. I mean, it didn't make any sense, except for the part where he talked about farting in front of El Chapo, which I appreciated, which was just like classic Penn. He said, at this moment, I expel a minor traveler's flatulence. Sean Penn. We've all gotten off an airplane, America.
But,
let's not pretend that doesn't happen.
In his defense, it was a 7-hour meeting, 7 hours worth of interview. He wasn't allowed to take notes. Yeah. So a lot of it was going from memory. I don't know if I could have done as good of a job. And I want to clarify that he got the call and he went to Rolling Stone.
He went to Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone didn't go to him.
And they worked together on it.
And Rolling Stone said, listen, if we don't like what we see, we're not going to run it. And I'm glad that magazines, for me, if someone sits down and gives you an interview, you're just not entitled to just do everything. I'm sorry. I know that, a lot of people feel like journalists are supposed to say, no, we're going to ask you what we want. Unless it's a political person, no, I don't think you're entitled to that. And that's not the way I remember. I know you have to do it for television because you have all kinds of stuff. But in a magazine, I just feel like, listen, they got this interview. Whatever they needed to do to get the interview is what they did. And they gave them, and it's funny because they said, yes, we're going to give you editor approval. We're going to
editorial approval.
Which really you're not supposed to give.
No.
Well, but who are you giving it to? You're telling.
To El Chapo.
But here's the thing. El Chapo is talking to somebody who's not recording anything. Okay? Yeah. So, you say, listen, I'm not going to give you approval, but what if he just decided to make some stuff up?
True.
There's a lot of gray areas with this particular thing. But, the Chop wanted to meet folks. He wanted to meet Sean Penn. Yeah.
The Chop.
The Chop.
Chapo.
The Chop wanted to meet folks. But you know,
But
you have to be
the
careful.
rest of it.
You have to be careful with fame because fame is tricky, and tricky brought the chop down.
Yep.